What's up, everyone? Long time no see. Of course, I haven't posted on this channel in a while, but anyways, thank you guys for clicking on this video. I'll explain a bit where I've been, just a brief before we get into this Wisp video. Firstly, I've been trying to go into different types of content, not only Warframe. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I'm still young. I'm still in my early 20s. I'm trying to figure out life. I do have also work or an internship that I attend, and it's been a bit tough to upload, or it's been a bit tough even since the start of this new TechRot Encore update. And it is a bit challenging to go on YouTube videos and try to go all in and lock in on them because there's a lot of editing, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and yeah, my past videos haven't been the greatest, but honestly, what motivated me to come back and do videos or to do build videos or any type of informative Warframe content is the last video, which was just about a dog and Contagious Bond doing all the work, according to one comment. And it was funny. It was funny seeing a lot of comments. uh, of course, 11 comments is not a lot of comments, but it kind of made me happy and kind of motivated me to do more build videos because honestly, the power creep on this game is insanely strong, and you could do a lot of things to make so-called garbage weapons that are the new weapons, such as the Coda Synapse, the Coda Pox, of course not the Pathocyst, but all these Coda weapons have gotten some hate, some sort of hate from the community, and I really would love to doubt these or to make these people regret saying that because a lot of the weapons that they released are actually crazy. They're pretty, very, very good. So yeah, that's where I've been. Now let's get on to the video. Now, today is a relatively simple day, but Wisp recently got a new augment, and it is called Cataclysmic Gate. Now, this augment is insanely it's weird, but it's good. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, okay, so it just spreads a lot of heat procs and radiation procs and increases their status effects. Well, the thing is that not only does it do that, it also leaves a blast of the sun that you open the gate to. So let's look at the ability in general, right? And it's becoming a one cast after the augment. Keep in mind, without the augment, it's a hold, so you basically cast the ability, and it takes from your energy. But this is only from the initial cast. So let's see what the augment does. So here I have two spectral images next to me, and I do it, and basically it's the sun. It looks weird, but it's the sun, and it does an area of effect damage depending on your range. Of course, it doesn't scale that well with range because if it scaled insanely well with range, it would have been broken. But let's test it out on some enemies. Preferably, we could do Grenier, because that'll be the best. And let's just test this out. Now, as you can see, of course, it's scorching the whole 20 enemies, and it's doing a lot of damage. Look at the heat procs. We're getting up to... This guy had 99 heat procs before he died. And this is only one cast. This is, of course, from a lot of strength. We also have arcanes to show off, of course, not augmented. But maybe let's try something out. Let's try and pairing this with something else, like, for example, Coda This is built for as you can see, they're all melted. It's a relatively amazing build, and this is in the first time ever. Like, I've always said that Wisp is one of the best Warframes aboard because she's a weapons platform, but her abilities have so much potential to be fun, such as her fourth. So let's look at the build before we get into a mission and show it off in a Scaldra survival. This is the build that usually I run. Now, the helmets. You do not need anything for the helmets. Honestly, you could just do this build helmetless because of how broken it is. Like, seriously, no joke. It spreads so many heat procs, and it is uncountable because you have Archon Vitality, which doubles the heat procs that are affected on, for example, from abilities. Now, let's explain the build a bit. Corrosive Projection, very helpful. You can run anything of your choice, but I think Corrosive Projection does it well because as soon as heat stacks up, it can decrease armor to about 50%. And honestly, the armor strip on this is going to be amazing. Now, it doesn't fully armor strip, but it's good enough. Now, Precision Intensify goes for your 4, increases the strength, of course, increases the damage. Blind Rage for overall strength increase. Efficiency, negative efficiency don't really matter because I kind of offset that with Equilibrium and Dispensary. And I only use Dispensary because now people are going to tell me, why don't you use Nourish? Why do you use Roar? Why do you use. Well, I think that this build makes her such a good weapons platform more than Roar and more than Nourish. More fun, at least. Of course, Roar is better. Nourish is better, you know? This is the Nourish build. This is the Roar build. Way easier. 403 strength. You could get to probably like 600% strength if you had like everything, such as like a Nidus Spectre, a What Cell, or whatever. But honestly, Dispensary just makes her make sense because you could use a lot of weapons that are weak in the ammo economy, and it will make you just enjoy the game a bit better. Now, of course, the augment, and the augment is just crazy. If you look at the stats, 17,000 damage per tick, 16 a 16-meter radius, and a 15.5 duration of the sun where it gets cast basically. And the drain is only 36.25 energy. That is nothing. That is genuinely nothing, and it doesn't drain anymore. Actually, it only takes from the initial drain of the casting of the ability. That's it. Duration, of course, for dispensary and the other abilities like Breeze Surge, because this pairs very well with Breeze Surge, as we'll see in later. Range, of course, so you could scale this Soul Gate. And the two arcanes that I'm going to be using are Molt Augmented, and I wish it was Arcane Hotshot, but it isn't, so it's Arcane Bellicose. Arcane Bellicose is very good, gives you strength up to 72%. Once you have this maxed out, you can just stack this up to 72% easily. And we also have Archon Vitality, so that increases it about 18%, as we'll see in the mission. And the Exilus is definitely up to you. Prime Sure-Footed, I don't have secondary Fortifier, and sometimes I run Tech Rot, Scaldra. They have a lot of knockdown abilities, and it's a bit annoying, so I just run Prime Sure-Footed. That's the build. Now, before we go into uh, the weapons, I'll show you what it is capable of if we just do Breeze. And yeah, it's needless to say, it's insanely good. And of course, we cannot forget about the companion because the companion actually has a very important role, and that's viral proccing. So we're using the Panzer Vulpifier, and of course, this is the build. The viral quills is the most important part, and the Panzer Devolution as well is very important because it also spreads. Once it does that decoy, it spreads and it spreads more viral against or between enemies. Two of the most important bond mods, in my opinion, on this Panzer, because it also scales with your Breach Surge and your weapons. Reinforced Bond for your weapons, as using as a weapons platform, and and Tenacious Bond gives you 1.2 times final critical damage multiplier. Now, that's the Panzer build. The claws don't matter, but you can do an interesting type of tech. You could use something called Shocking Claws. This is a mod that converts all of your damage to elemental damage to electricity and gives you 300% electricity. You could use this instead of what I'm using, which is Toxin. And you could also put Archon Stretch instead of normal Stretch. And what this does is that this can allow for you to get the extra 2 energy per second of Archon Stretch. And honestly, this is only for energy economy if you're using some sort of helmets that you just can't use, or you're not even using helmets and you think that energy is hard to get, then honestly, go for that tech. It's a bit costly, but it's worth it. Honestly, it's very worth it. Now for weapons, you can use anything you want, man. Honestly, this is the best part about the build. You could use Cedo and you'll do crazy amounts of damage. You could use I'm using Pox. Like I never in a million years I would have said that Pox is good. I was like, Pox is only for like status spreading. And I was like, is that really the truth? And no, it isn't. Because it's an insanely good weapon for damage. I'll make builds on this if you guys would like. But melee-wise, I'd say that if you use anything with melee influence, such as using this Coda Pathocyst, if you use anything with melee influence, it'll be very good because it also increases your chance of spreading the breeze surge, and that's the most important part because the more you spread your breeze surge with the procs coming from your 4, the better, honestly, because you're just gonna be nuking the whole map. And that's basically, I'm using the Synapse. I'm not even using Torrid. In my opinion, I'm a Torrid hater. I don't like Torrid. But I'm using the Coda Synapse and is doing surprisingly well. We could show this off in a Scaldra survival, Steel Path, and I'll see you there. Now, entering into the mission, I have to mention one thing. This build is in no way um, heavy investment. Like, all of the shards I'm running, I didn't mention because it's not necessary. Like, I'm running 4 strength shards, Tauforged Orange, and 1 orange for radiation ability damage. And you really do not need that. And there's a very good reason why I didn't mention it while I was with that build. There's a very good reason why I didn't mention it is because it's not needed. And this build is supposed to be like a bit safer for the investment side. And a bit easier on the investment side because you really don't need heavy investment builds for Warframe, even if you want to do level cap. That's the fun part about Warframe, is that you really don't need to invest that much. Whoever invests that much is just willing to do that so you can see the damage numbers. So, in the sequence of this mission, you're going to put down your moves. Of course, you can do the Matarai routine, where you just dash, go into your operator and dash. I'm going to place another health one. And basically, as soon as you put the reservoirs, you could also put the dispenser first, but you could do the reservoirs and then the dispenser, and then just keep switching between your 4 and 3 and 4. So cast your 3, and you press 4. On the most enemies that you see from wherever direction, you'll see that all of them are just getting so many heat blocks. For example, let's look at these. And they're just all getting heat procs. Most of their armor is gone, by the way, from corrosive projection and from the 50%. You have a I'm not using any weapons, or I am using the glaive. I am using the Pathocyst. As you can see here, I could have. I'm actually gonna show just me using only the 3 and 4 because I want to show you guys how good this build is. Like, this is just like, I'm not, and of course influence makes this way better, right? Influence makes this fun, you know? Melee influence is very fun. And pairing it with such like heat proc and high range, it is just the best feeling ever. Like, I have not had fun this much playing Wisp because Wisp is already just one of the most broken Warframes in the game, and this just makes it way more fun. Honestly, her 4 was always an interesting ability, but it just wasn't good. That's the problem. Past this, and you know, you could do a secret with her 4. You could, for example, let's see this group of enemies. For example, let's look at these group of enemies. You could do something a bit, you know, gimmicky. You could do this, and then cast on the floor. Of course, it didn't work there because the cast is a bit hard to time. So let's do it again. You could do this, and then you could just cast it on the floor. Of course, you can't really cast it under you, because it's a bit hard to, like, let's do this, and then, there you go. You could do something like that where you pre-prime them with the heat proc that the initial ability has, and then you could put on, you could like put the stun wherever you want. I just called it. And then now I'm just started using my weapon. I just started using my primer right now, and it's just weapons platform plus ability damage plus just everything. He's literally perfect. And in my opinion, this augment just makes her even better. as a Warframe to play with, and as a Warframe to have fun with, and or go through a path with. I think that it just makes her more fun, and the build isn't even that hard. Of course, things like Archon Vitality maybe make it a bit higher investment, but all of these are just to help her spread the proc. But if you give the proc time, they will instantaneously, over time, not instantaneously. So yeah, this is just such a fun build, and I'm gonna be using this for a while until I perfect other builds, because I have other video ideas for you guys. A lot of video ideas. More of weapons ideas, because Warframes are already set in stone, and there's, of course, there's interchangeable builds because of helmets, and what's stone, what's stone. Let's actually look at the Acolyte nuke. Of course, I'm not going to nuke him, because... Actually, I could nuke him, but we'll see. Where is he? I can't even find him.
While Scaldra is distracted, I'm taking the opportunity to make some new acquisitions.
I'm just gonna...
Like this.
Keep casting.
Don't worry, I'll share.
Oh, shoot. I just remembered something.
But
it's
it
Malice.
wouldn't be very much fun if you
oh, but it's okay. We're like, I didn't even get to shoot him. Because it was Malice, and he was just procking his mag bubble on me, so I just couldn't do anything. It's just the sun that kind of killed him. And that's the funny part about this build. It's just like, it's so satisfying. You realize that, like, there's so many people dying, but... Or so many ads dying, but sometimes you just don't realize it. Like, how many kills do we have? Actually, let's... Kill these baboons first. I didn't even know that baboon was even low. That's how weird the build is. It's so weird. So weird and so fun. Okay, I'm probably gonna die. We're good? Yeah, we're good. Yeah, even the big boy Scaldra are just dying. It's just such a fun build. We have 630 kills right now. Like, I cannot stress this enough. This is investment safe, and it's broken. So, let's go to Extraction, and I'll give my final opinion on the build. Alright, made it to Extraction, and honestly, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think I have a lot of ideas for Warframe content, hopefully in the future. This is, of course, I'll be posting on a weekly basis because I still have work and life is a bit busy right now, but honestly, I've had so much enjoyment playing Wisp, and it's been so long since I have, and she is just absolutely amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to support, leave a like, even subscribe, comment, even if you see that, you know, there was some type of mistake I did, or maybe a good suggestion for a change in the build. Honestly, that would be much appreciated for you guys to leave a comment for. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.